Hello everyone, I have two class members here and myself. We are going to be doing the ScanNCut, so I will have my mask on unless I need a breather every once in a while. I'll pull it down. So hopefully you'll still be able to understand me. If they can understand me, I think you'll be able to understand me. We are going to take the next hour and we are going to talk about ScanNCut Club and go through the basic features of ScanNCut. The ScanNCuts that I'm going to show you is on the DX models. Now, there are two different models of the ScanNCut DX. There's the Disney version where you flip it up. Granted, I burn candles, so mine has a little black on there because of my candle soot that I didn't clean off. But you'll notice I have Mickey and Minnie on here. And if you go over to the ladies over here, I'm going to let Wendy do that. Then you have the basic DX model. The only difference between these two models is this comes with Disney already in the machine. That one you would have to purchase the cards to get the Disney. They run around $30 a piece. Oh, I just dropped my thing on the floor. And also, the difference between the two models is you do get this handy dandy tool set with the Disney model. However, as my boss always used to say, you can purchase these separately. They run around, they put them away, I think. They run around $90, but you get your 15% off, and it has all your tools in it. So it has a little stylus, it has a scraper in there, it has a tweezer. This is the best tweezer on earth. This one stays closed if you don't touch it. If you push it, now it opens. What's nice, I love these for the sergers too, because you can grip your thread, and now you don't even have to put any pressure to grab your thread.
Love this sold separate?
Yes, these are sold separate. And if, Wendy, do you want to grab one of those over there? Yeah, they're on the wall.
Yeah, I do too.
They also come with a picker. This is not to pick your nose, because that would hurt. It's very pointy. It's like a dental tool. They're very, very pointy. This is when you're doing like very fine, like vinyl, and you need to get it off the mat. Use this to pull it to start picking it away from the mat. That's what that's for. Then you have your little spatula. This is also good to get started and get, especially if you're doing anything with like glue adhesive, to get underneath there so you don't pull away the paper and the fabric with that adhesive. Let's see if I can get this back in here. Okay, so you can purchase these individually. They run $75.99, so even better. They're a little bit, they're very reasonable in my opinion. Plus, if you take the class, you get 15% off. And you'll notice mine is blue. This one's like a turquoise or like a lighter color blue. You can get them in either color way. Right now we have one of each, it looks like. But yeah, if we have this one and you want this one and we're out, we can order it for you. So that's what that is. And then you can get the tweezers individually too. They run $12.99. You can get the spatula and the picker come in one pack together. And that they run at around the same price, or around $20. Okay, so that's an option too. All right, so you're also going to notice that the 2300 DX is going to come with they say they came out with a new version of the ScanNCut this year. They didn't. It's the same machine, just has an F at the end. If it says F at the end, that means you get a fabric mat with the machine. If it does not, you don't get the fabric mat with the machine. If you buy it from us and it doesn't have an F, you'll get a fabric mat. We just throw it in for you. In the ScanNCut Club, what we're going to do is we're going to go through everything step by step. So we're going to take an hour today and we're just going to go through the basics. So some of you might find that this is boring because we've already gone through it, or you're like, I already know that stuff. But it's good to have for reference. It's good to start at the beginning. And also if people start in the middle of the class, they didn't know that this was going on, they start in the middle, they'll get all the links so they can get caught up to where we are. So each month what we're going to do is we're going to go through we're gonna go through the machine first for the first 3-4 months. Probably 5 or maybe 6 months before we actually get to doing some of the kits, because we're gonna do the rhinestone kit, we're gonna do the foiling kit, we're gonna do the embellishment kits. We're gonna do all those kits. If you don't wanna do it, you just don't have to purchase the kit, and you don't have to, sign up for the class. That's totally fine. If you purchase the ScanNCut from us, you get the classes for free. So go ahead and download the kit. See if you watch the video. If you think you want to do it, then you can always come back later and get the kit. If you get the kits for the class, you get 15% off of the kits, okay? So what we're going to start with is today is just going through the basic settings and how to set your machine. And we're going to talk about the playbook. Everybody who takes the class should have a playbook, partly because I want you to be able to use the machine when I'm not there. And this thing will go through step by step, and it'll also give you a good reference. It's kind of like your little Bible for the ScanNCut. It also has an activation code inside here. I believe this is for Canvas Workspace, which is something we also are going to do in ScanNCut. We are going to play with the Canvas Workspace. So FYI, while we're on this topic, everybody needs to be registered on Canvas by the not next class period, the period after. It'll be the 3rd month. And the reason why is because it'll take time to get registered, and I don't want to spend the whole class time getting everybody registered, okay? So if you have questions, you need help with it, please come to the store and we will help you, or we'll try to do it over phone. We could do it probably via FaceTime or whatever. Inside your playbook, you also have a little card inside. It also plays videos for you. It's kind of in here tight. Let's see if I can get it. And this little thing pops up. My hands don't work the best today. But it pops up and you can stick it right in your machine to play it. All right? So that's what that is. We are going to start today by going through your basic settings. So I'm going to have you turn to page, if you have your playbook. Let's see, what page were we on? I gotta turn to that. I shut everything down and I shut the book, and obviously that wasn't the best. Getting familiar with the machine settings on page 67 is where we're gonna start. So what I want you to do is open to page 67, and I want you to open your machine.
67?
67, yep.
67.
Okay, so if you've turned your machine on and it's blank, don't freak out. You have an automatic where it turns off on its own. I don't think I turned it on. So I'm just gonna hold, with the power button, you hold it down until it turns on. If you just hit it once and let go, it will not come on. It is a hold button. It will pop up and you wanna touch your screen. And it's gonna tell you the carriage will move to the initial position, keep your hands away. Some of us it won't do anything. Some of you, it might. Hit OK. I had something going, so it asked me if I wanted to resume it. I don't. So I just went back to 0. So the buttons on here, the power button, this is your home button. If you want to get back to this area here, hit the home button. This is to load your mat and unload your mat. This is to pause. If you're in the middle of cutting and it grabbed on something and it's pulling your fabric, just hit the pause button. It will start right where you took off.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's nice about the pause button. We are going to go through some of this eventually, but we're going to start with going through the tools. If you notice on mine, it says update available. And the reason why is because when I did the other class, we went through and found out that there was an update out there. I did not put it in because I saved it for this class so that we could put it in. Do you guys have an update available on your screen? Okay, so we will do that for you here in a second. So we'll go through this period, if we have time today, otherwise that will happen next week. And actually, while we're talking, before we get into this, for next month's class, I want you all to come prepared. We are going to actually use the fabric mat. We're going to go over mats. We're going to finish going over your settings. But we are going to go over cutting on fabric for an applique piece. So you need to bring a project that you're going to do applique, but we're only focusing on the scanning part of it. We won't be doing the SVG files this time. We'll be doing that in a different class. So make sure you come to class with a applique piece that you're going to do or want to do, but you need to have it on a piece of paper, so we're going to scan it with the scanning mat. So you'll need a scanning mat, a fabric mat, and you'll need your fabric prepped with the glue or adhesive in the back. And we'll go through that in class. If you guys, don't have that all set up and ready to go, don't worry, we'll get you set up. I'm very flexible, okay? So we'll get things going for you. And some of our classes might be longer than an hour, so just prepare yourself, okay? So if you have questions, just call the store and we will definitely answer your questions. We'll probably have it out on email too next week. So you're gonna hit your little wrench. So I did that kind of fast. So right here is your little wrench. So grab that. That is your settings menu, okay? In the first, on page 67, you'll see setting page 1. If you do not have your language set to English, to make your life easier, please set it to English. I don't read Dutch. I do a little Espanol, but not too much. I don't like to make my life painful. Also, if you are from Europe, you will want millimeters. If you are from America, you will want inches. If you change it to millimeters, you'll see it's painful. If you're a Viking FOF person, that's probably not painful for you. Most of those are all in millimeters. So, but I just have to say I'm more inches. So I'm changing it to inches. It's telling me the cut area is 11.73 inches by 11.65. And a lot of you will say, well, but I have a 12 by 12 mat. Why doesn't cut a 12 by 12 mat? And the reason why is because just like with your embroidery machine, you have a cut area, a safe area. And that safe area, you need to be inside the 12 by 12. So that's the reason. Just like with your hoops, when it says 5 by 7, doesn't mean that you can do a 5 by 7. Means that do you have one, Candy?
Yep.
Means that you, and I do apologize, the store is open, so you'll hear a phone ringing. Hopefully you'll hear the phone ringing a lot. And the customer's coming in. So it will read within that hoop, because the hoop is the actual, where the plastic is for that hoop, that's the actual 5 by 7. So actually it will read only a 4.83 by, 6.83 or whatever. Or if you have a 9 by 9, you know what I'm talking about. So if you ever wondered why it will not cut there, it's because that's the safe area. That's the actual size of the hoop or the mat. Your pattern interval. Now this one is where I always forget what this is. So pattern interval, I'm going to read it. It's right off of the ScanNCut. Pressing the arrow increases the space between the patterns. So if you pick more than one pattern and you have 2 patterns on there, it's going to space it out a little farther. Some of us want to, if you're doing like a square and you want to cut out your 5-inch squares and you want to draw the 1/4 inch on there, but you want to have a little bit of space between them because you don't know if it's going to pull or whatever, you can adjust that with your pattern interval. So it's the spacing between patterns as well as spacing around the edges of the cutting area when the patterns are on the mat. The layout screens are automatically arranged. So they give you a tip. If you are attaching lightweight fabric to a high-tack fabric support sheet, set the pattern interval to 3 or above. And the reason why is because I think it's all, and if I don't know something, I will find out and let you know at the next class what that is. If I forget, please remind me, because I will follow up with you on anything that I didn't know or any questions that you might have. Call the store, and if I don't know, I will find out. The Luminaire, I know really well. The ScanNCut, I know very well, but there's certain things on the ScanNCut that I don't do. Like I'm not a scrapbooker. I'm not going to use it for paper piecing or for doing any of that, or for paper cutting, but some of you might be. And if I don't know the answer, I will find out for you, okay? Because this is not only just for cutting fabric, but that's really all I use it for. So we are going to go down now, page down. So now you're going to see background, cut speed, cut pressure auto manual. Background, this one I was a little confused with too, but the background allows you to adjust the image density, brightness, of the scan background image. So anything you scan on your mat, if you can't see it very well, you can adjust this, and that will hopefully help you be able to see it better. For instance, if you were doing this on your, if you were doing a design on your embroidery machine, and it was a white item that you're stitching out white, and you have a white background, you can't see that. But if you change the background of the color, now you'll be able to see it. It's the same concept as this is, okay? So that's what that is. So they also, what is nice about this book is, in the book, it shows you, one, they suggest you use with dark background. Two, they suggest you use with a light background. And three, they suggest you turn the image off and background image off. It's no suggestion, it's just telling you to turn it off. And I don't know why you would turn it off, but they have that option for you. But what's nice is they kind of tell you which one you should do. So that's why I like the playbook, because I don't remember this. I mean, I don't use it very often, so how am I supposed to remember? That's what the playbook is for, okay? So the cut speed and the cut pressure is next. So the cut speed is to adjust, obviously, the speed. When you first start cutting, always start slow. Don't start like going off like a bat out of hell, because you don't know if it's going to hold on to if your fabric maybe doesn't hold, maybe you don't have the blade might be dull, and so even though it automatically sets your cut blade and your pressure, if your blade is dull, it might grab onto something and start pulling. If you're going slow, you can usually pause it before it really pulls too badly, and you can get back into place.
When it has the black here, does that mean that was the settings for the machine?
If it has a black background, yes. So if you change the settings and you want it back to factory settings, if you have the black background, that is factory settings, okay? So if you ever want to just get your machine back to factory settings, oops, I just paged down. Just turn it until you see the black box. And also with the cut pressure, I changed it, but if you want it back to auto, just bring it back to 0, which is auto for the cut pressure. Mm-hmm. The cut pressure manual blade is 0, is the factory setting. And then the cut amount, I gotta remember what the cut amount is. Let's see. Cut amount specifies the depth of each cut and adjusts the blade cut amount when the pattern is cut from soft to thick material. So for instance, sometimes you get wool or felt and you know certain areas are thicker than the others because they're not always even. That will help you adjust that, okay? The machine should be able to adjust a little bit for that. So we're gonna page down. Half cut. This is another thing that I forgot because I don't use it very often. Why would you ever want to use a half cut? That's a great question. Well, if you're doing vinyl, which is why I brought this little piece of vinyl up here. When you're doing vinyl, vinyl has two pieces to it. It has the actual vinyl fabric, and then it has a little piece of clear. You don't want to cut through the clear. You only want to cut through the vinyl. The clear is for helping you transport it to a garment. So for instance, if you're doing something on heat vinyl, for instance, will have this, because if you're transferring it to a t-shirt, you want to make sure you transfer it. You're going to cut it, and then you're going to pull the excess away, and the actual design will be attached to this, and then you lay it on your t-shirt so you have it lined up where you want. Put a heat pressing cloth on and then press it, and this part will not, because it doesn't have any stickiness, it will not adhere to your t-shirt, but this will. If you have heat vinyl, this is not heat vinyl, so I don't think it is. If regular sticky vinyl, you can just go ahead and pull it away. Like Kimberbell has a lot of vinyl they do, but it's not heat vinyl. So you don't have to do a half cut, but you can if you want. If you don't want it to cut through the whole thing, that's totally fine, because then you don't wear out your blade. Just do a half cut and just peel it away then when you're done. So that's what that is. And going along with cut pressure, specifies the amount of pressure or force exerted when using the half cut setting. So
How does it cut through with not, it says it will not cut the carrier sheet. Which is carrier sheet?
This is the carrier sheet, the top of this.
Okay.
Yep, that's the carrier
So a
sheet.
half cut won't, but it'll cut the bottom.
It'll cut the bottom, yep.
That's cool.
Yes, so also when you're doing rhinestones, you're gonna use this, it feels like velvet type fabric, and it's gonna cut these holes out for you, okay? And behind that velvet is gonna be a sticky back. And so when you lay out the rhinestones, you're gonna brush them on so that the rhinestones are faced upright. They're not upside down, they're faced upright, and they're gonna sit in these little holes. And then you're gonna take a sticky piece of it looks kind of like a plastic, it looks like a sheet like this, but it's gonna have stickiness on the bottom of it. And you're gonna stick it over the rhinestones, and then you're gonna transfer it onto your shirt over by the ironing board. You'll lay it down, you put a pressing sheet on there, and sit there for 10 seconds in each area, and it adheres to the t-shirt, and then you just pull it out. That's how you transfer it. So anything you're doing transfer type things is where you're gonna use the half cut, okay? But each place that you do that kind of stuff, they're gonna have instructions on how to do it. And that's why we're gonna do those things in class, so you can do it at home or here with us. And some of this stuff, you know, I'll tell you, I barely ever use it, but we're going to use it in this ScanNCut class because this is going to go on. God, this could go on forever because brother keeps coming out with more things for these machines. So we're going to keep going until you learn everything about it. So, and then I'll learn everything about it too with you. Blade adjustment area. This is another thing that I was like, what do you use this for? Because I don't use it very often. This is where when you do the test, it always comes up with a square or triangle right up here. If you don't want it up here, you can move it to wherever you want on your screen, okay? I find I don't care because the thing is, I'm going to move it wherever I want to move it when I bring up my image because that little icon will come up and I'll show you later on how you can move that. But so I don't really find it necessary. This is more for people who are doing multiple things of the same thing over and over and over again. And if they have everything lined up right here in this box, they don't want to have the test piece here. So they're going to move it over here, okay? So that's the difference, and that most of you won't ever use. But it's there just in case. Draw speed. Okay, so with your machine, you get these little fun
Wait a second.
markers.
I gotta get it in the picture.
Okay. Oh, by the way, this is your little
Storage?
unit. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So these are the markers you get with the machine. These are permanent markers. You can use these for draw. Like if you want to make your own Christmas tags for your presents, you can cut out your own Christmas tags, and then you can also have them write "Merry Christmas" from Grandma, "Merry Christmas" from Auntie, whatever you want to put on there. I'm very creative. Can you tell? What do you think these two are for? These two right here.
Got me.
Well, if you want to cut out your 5-inch blocks, because you're doing something with 5-inch, you can cut out your blocks, but you also can draw your 1/4 inch on there with a air erasable or water soluble marker. That's what these are. The purple is air erasable, the blue is water soluble. You can draw your 1/4 inch in there and then you just follow that. So if you have a laser on your machine and you're like, oh, I don't have a laser on my machine. Oh, well, not a big deal. Just draw it out on your ScanNCut. So you can always do that with this machine. Okay, so that's what that is. You have your draw speed just like your cut speed. Draw speed, to be honest, you could draw as fast as you want, but they do have a draw pressure. If you put too much pressure, you're gonna get, it's gonna hesitate or it's gonna kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but when you put too much pressure on a marker, you know, you get these big blobs on there. That's what's gonna happen. So you wanna make sure you have the right pressure. So you do a test before you do it. Always do a test. And then once you have the right pressure, turn up the speed and go on your merry way. Page down, seam allowance. See how I was telling you you can put your own seam allowance in there? You can set your 1/4 inch if you want 5/8, if you want 1 inch. You can set it to whatever you want. Most people use a 1/4 inch. So that's, you can draw your 1/4 inches on your squares or circles or whatever. Fill. Okay, fill, I can never remember what the fill is because I don't use that either. So let me just change over, we're gonna go over to page number 71. Fill, specifies the fill settings when drawing. So see, the reason why I don't know this one, because I don't draw very much with it. I use it for cutting fabric. But if you do, there are 5 different patterns that may be selected. So if you go into here, there's 5 different patterns that you can select for drawing and filling in your pattern. So if you want to do some decorative kind of stuff, you can. Or if you want to just draw straight lines, you can do that too. So that's what that is. Fill line spacing specifies how far apart the fill patterns are spaced, and the fill direction specifies the direction the fill is drawn. Now, when we do the canvas part of the class, we are probably going to do some drawing on that. We're going to do a few classes on the canvas. They have lots of projects on there. So I'm not going to do like a whole 12 months of just canvas. I want to move things around, but I like canvas because a lot of the stuff on there, all of the stuff on there is free for you to use. And there's a lot of great ideas. You can make your own little gift boxes. You can make little ornaments. You can make a lot of that kind of stuff. So we're going to play with that. We're going to show you the whole canvas and what you can do with that. And then we're going to make a little gift box is most likely what we're going to do. Something quick. And then we'll do another project that's a little bit more extensive down the road. But next month we are doing applique because I find most people buy the ScanNCut because they do want to cut out fabric. So we're going to do that first.
People that are watching this, can they, if they have just the basic one that first came out, is a lot of this applicable on that?
Can you ask me that question again?
Like, I have the very first one that came out, doesn't
Okay.
have all this. Can that still be used with some of this stuff?
Some of it can. We did find because you have the 350 is
Yeah.
probably the one that you have. The 350, which is great. Thanks for asking that because that's stuff that we need to address. If you have the 350, there's going to be a lot of this stuff that you're not going to see. So as we're going through, if you don't see it, don't freak out. It's just because you don't have it. Okay? A lot of the stuff you're not going to have because it's just a basic starter ScanNCut. They had to start somewhere. What's nice about the ones that are coming out now is they're not, if they're coming out with something new, they're doing updates instead of coming out with a whole new machine. Because Brother is known for doing that, where they just come out with they don't come out with a whole new machine. They do updates. So I feel more comfortable having this machine because I know that it won't be discontinued next week. So and have to buy a whole new machine.
Yeah.
It's really there. I mean, with the new machine, they came out with just a new fabric mat, and then they have some new things that you can add on there. But you just buy the cards and you download it. So that yes, you will notice that it is quite a bit different from your machine. Now, FYI, also since we're on that topic right now, you'll notice that with your machine, the CMs, which is C for cat, M for Mary, those machines and the DX, when you're purchasing items for your ScanNCut, if you have you need to know when you come to the store, when I ask you, well, what kind of ScanNCut do you have? Do you have the DX or the CM? And you look at me in a blank stare, I'm going to say, you have to know, because what's going to happen is you may end up buying a CM when you have a DX, and then the mats will not work, okay?
Betty's
Can
got
I
it.
get in it?
She's got it.
You want to take this one so it's away from the camera and making the noise? Thank you.
Is there somewhere on the map that shows you which it is, CM or D?
Yes, so that's what we're going to go through next. Before I jump to that, the CM mats, we are no longer carrying at the store. We will special order them for you if you need them, as long as they're making them. I don't know how long they're going to keep making them, to be honest. I would imagine with anything, they'll eventually stop if sales go down on those, which they are because people are usually trading in for this. So I don't know how long. I know for the CM machines, we have all of our product that we did have. So if you want it, I would suggest it's a great deal, 40% off. So But if you are doing a DX mat, do not buy the CM mats because they will not work. You can look here, down here at the mat, down here. It says CAD or CA DX. DX is a DX mat. For the CMs, it will say CA CM on there. The CA, don't worry about. That's just a brother code. DX is the mat, or the type of machine. And then it says mat F12. The mat F is for fabric mat, 12 is 12 inches. So it's saying 12 inches by 12 inches. If you have a different mat, so we're gonna look at this one here. I have things everywhere. You look here and right here, it says CA, which we're gonna get rid of that. DX, which is for the DX machine. Mat, low, 12, that means it's a low tack mat. And it'll also say it right here. Okay, and that's a 12 inch. So that's what that is. But you want to make sure it's a DX. That's where you're going to find the DX. Okay.
Okay.
The mats are also going to have different codes right here. That's where the machine knows if this mat will work, because it's reading this code here. So it will, but you won't know that. I mean, how are you looking at this? You won't know if that's a DX or a CM. This will tell you though. So that's what that is. Okay. Okay. So we're going to move down now to the next one. Auto shutdown is next. That's on page 72. If you're not using your machine, it'll go blank and you'll be like, oh, it turned off. Well, it didn't necessarily turn off. Just tap the screen and it'll pop up. After an hour though, it will shut down, so you will have to use the power button to turn it on. Okay. With your sewing machines, when you have the shutdown, you actually have to turn the power off on the power button and turn it back on to get it turned on. This one, you just hit the power button and it will come on. Okay. Buzzer. If you notice, my buzzer's off because the buzzer drives me absolutely nuts. And if you have husbands, whether you want to torment your husband or not, it will depend upon whether you turn the buzzer on or off. So, if you want to be nice to your husband and he's in the same room with you or close by, you may want to turn the buzzer off because it is annoying after a while.
When does the buzzer sound?
Every time you touch the screen. So if you turn it on now, you'll notice when I touch it, the buzzer goes on. If I turn it off, now when I touch things, nothing happens.
But when does it make the noise?
Did you hear it?
Oh, no.
When I turned it on, it beeped. Now when I hit this button, it beeps.
I see.
Now if I turn it off, now when I touch it, something happens, it changes, but it doesn't beep at me. Okay, some people like the beeping because they know that the machine has heard them or knows what is doing something for them. I personally don't need to hear it. So you can adjust that. Anything you change in the settings menu, which was what we're in, when you turn off the machine and turn it back on, it will be saved in that mode, okay? Anything outside of settings, if you do not save it, it will not stay there, okay? Opening screen. If you do not want to have your opening screen on, right now I have it turned off. So when yours came on, it had a picture of a ScanNCut and a thing. Mine just went right away to it's going to calibrate, okay? So the screen is turned off on mine. You can turn it off or turn it on. It's up to you. Scanning, cutting position adjustment. Okay, this one, you don't have to touch it. I just touched it now. You'll see the carriage and the mat will move to the initial position. Keep your hands away from the carriage. I hit OK, but I have nothing in here. So it's going to say install the blade holder and the mat with a sheet of white paper attached to the machine. Shift the scanner lever to position 1, which is one thing that we didn't talk about. On the left side of your machine, there is a lever right here. And if you want to pan in on theirs, it's a little easier to see. You'll see lever 1, lever 2. So when it says on your machine to switch it to position 1, you want to bring it down. Okay, you're going to be doing that when you're installing your vinyl roller, and we will be doing that in a class because you got to actually be registered on Canvas and you got to go through Canvas to do it also. So we will be doing that with the machine. It will tell you in detail format of what you need to do, so you don't have to worry about it. If you go to do something and it's in the wrong position, the machine will tell you to move it to position 1. But now you know what they're talking about when they say, you know, shift the scanning lever to position 1. If they're ever talking about a lever, it's over here on this side, okay? It will tell you. We are not going to do this. This is only if you need to recalibrate. For instance, like I've done it on my sewing machine where I rearrange as you can tell if you've been to my shop, I rearranged the furniture a lot. And when I rearrange furniture, I sometimes set my embroidery machines too close to the wall, and then you'll hear this, and sometimes you have to recalibrate the machine in order to do that. It's the same concept with this, okay? At times, sometimes if something happens, or if big fabric gets stuck and it's still trying to do, it can put your machine out of recalibration. And that's part of that. And really, you just bring it in and we'll take care of it for you. All right, next page. Okay, this is just like with your sewing machine. If you have a brother or a baby lock, if you have baby lock, it's the same machine. The only difference is in all of your machines, you're going to have a serial number, which is on the back of your machine. Your model number is going to be on the front of your machine, okay? The model number they're going to want when you do go into Canvas to register your machine, they'll probably also want the serial number. If you're downloading Disney Designs, they're going to want,
Because we gotta do that today.
you're going to want your model number and your serial number. And the reason why is because Brother is the only machine that is allowed to do Disney. Plus there are some mass-produced machines out there that won't allow Disney. So they want to make sure that you have the same. And it's the same thing with the Luminaire when you're, or any of the Brother machines, because the Brother you can download Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. And in the past, you go and register your machine, you download it for your machine, you pick the machine you're doing, and then it goes on a USB stick, and you can hand it to your friend who has PES Baby Lock, and you can stitch out Disney. You can't do that anymore. Now they caught on to that, and now I have 3 Brother machines. And if I want to do it on the Luminaire, I got to make sure I tell the machine or tell iBirder I'm doing it on my Luminaire. And then it will download. I cannot then put it on my Stellaire. I have to go back in and select the Stellaire. They're doing this for a reason because you have to have a Brother machine in order to do it. So if you're downloading the Disney Designs, they're going to ask for that type of stuff. So that's where you're going to go to get that, okay? This is your version number. What version do you have?
1.02.
1.02. Yours has not been updated. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow her machine and we're gonna do the update for her. Partly because then I can keep going on my machine. But first, before we do that, if we go into machine information, we're gonna first jump to that. It's gonna tell you the maximum scanning area is 12 by 24, maximum pattern number is 900, and then the readable formats. Now you know, with this machine, you don't have to have SVG files like your machine does. Your machine can only read SVG files. So if you put on a USB stick, it has to be an SVG file. A lot of companies, we're starting to do SVG. I think they've scaled back on that because now the ScanNCut will read, and it will read SVG and PES. So if you have a PES format for doing your embroidery, you can download all of that on here, okay? That's what's nice about this machine, okay? Also, now we're going up to network. Now, I'm going to finish going through this and then we'll go through Wi-Fi because I want you to set up your Wi-Fi from a different area than in here because you don't have to go to your settings to set up your Wi-Fi. If you're in your settings and you want to set up your Wi-Fi, this is where you're going to do it, okay? But we're not going to do that. So hit the back button because I want to show you how to do it from the front of your machine. This is Canvas Workspace. Mine says registered. Does yours?
No.
Registered.
I don't have the same page, I don't think.
Page down.
Quick
Not
network to the
registered.
right. Yeah.
It does say registered?
No.
Not registered.
Not registered. So, before you come to class, not next month, but the month after, you need to be registered on Canvas. If you need help, we will help you get registered. And maybe what we do is we schedule time after class next week to get you registered on. But you need to bring your computer then. Do you have a
Laptop.
laptop? Bring your computer and we will get you registered, okay? everybody should, and I emphasize this, by the third class, so not next month, but the following month, everybody needs to be registered on Canvas. I don't want to spend class time registering people on Canvas.
What is Canvas?
Canvas is a website. It's kind of like having your own software, buying your own software. This is a website that now, if you purchase this machine or this machine, you will get free access to Canvas because you get a card with your machine.
I thought it was a fabric.
Yeah, no. It sounds like it though. So you should have a card in your machine that's a Canvas access card in your machine. So check your accessories and see if you can find it, okay?
Okay.
Otherwise, that's why we'll sit and play with it and see what happens. Because if you don't have that card,
Look at my.
yes, look in your thing because you should have a card that should, and I'm wondering if I brought mine. I don't think I did. I think I left it because I got it downloaded, so I think I probably discarded it. But it's just a little card and it has the website where you go and do all that. But we'll work you through it. If you don't have the card, we'll see what we can do to get you one. But usually it comes with this machine. But some people don't know what it is and they throw it away. I hope you didn't, because then I think you have to pay to get another card. But we'll see what we can do. Okay. So get registered. If you have questions, call me and we will figure it out. Per premium functions. Okay. So if you go to premium functions next, did you hit to get into premium functions? There you go. Now, this is the area we're going to go in when we start doing those kits. So when we're ready to do the embossing kit, we're going to bring you in and we're going to have you activate your embossing kit. We will walk you through all of that, and then we will do the embossing. The foil, same thing. We're going to play with foil one day, and we'll do the same thing. This is where you're going to do it. Once you do the update, you probably will have more in there. I even have to do an update. This is as far as mine goes because I don't have the recent update. So updates are going to be things like this. If they have a new system that's coming out, they're going to update it so that it will show up here in case you purchase it. Now it will be in there for you to activate it, okay? So we're going to hit OK to go out of there. Hit OK again. And we're going to go back to your home menu. So we're back to home. And what we want to do is we want to get your Wi-Fi. If you look at your Wi-Fi up here, is yours all bolded? Or is it kind of...
It's flashing.
It's reading right now, but
Okay.
it wasn't before,
Okay.
so hers didn't say
Okay.
updated.
It's
before.
probably looking to see if you
Yeah.
have anything. Mine is blue because I'm already taken care of. So I'm going to have you pan in on theirs. Can you turn it a little bit this way? I'm sorry. Do you want to come stand up over here and watch us do this? Yours does not have Wi-Fi, so but your new once you buy a new one.
She's the computer person of the two of us.
Yes. So what you're going to do is it's searching for a Wi-Fi address, but it does not. You're not registered. So what you want to do is you want to tap that. Just tap that. Okay. So now you're going to be, and I'm going to do that too. You're in to the network. What you're going to do is it's on, so that's why it's searching. If you turned it off, it would just stay blank. But it's on. So now you're going to go to Setup Wizard. And it's going to look for all the Wi-Fis that we have here. We have a lot because we have other suites. Ours is that one, so go ahead and hit that one. And now, hit OK. Now, you're going to change to lowercase because I'm going to tell you the password. So hit lowercase and type with no spaces, sewing, center. Oh, you missed the S.
Missed the S.
Yeah. So don't hit the back button. What you're going to do, oh yeah.
X?
Yeah, you can hit that. There. Now you can start over.
Space center? or
No
just
space.
Center?
Yep. Nope, you missed the E and the R. You went too fast. E. Nope, you gotta hit it again. Now hit it again. Yeah, you gotta make sure that it turns blue. Yep. Okay, so now you're gonna hit OK. And now you're gonna say apply settings, yes. And now it's just gonna do the cycling to find the internet, make sure the password's correct. And once it's correct, it'll say Ta-da! That's what it says. Connected. Hit
Now, what
next.
if I was doing it at home, I would have a different network, right?
Right, so when you get home, it's gonna keep searching because it's gonna say, wait a minute, I can't find that. And so what you're gonna do is do the same process. Now, once you do that at home though, every time you go home, once you have it set up, it will find your Wi-Fi, it'll already save your password, it just will automatically come up. Now, when you come here, every time you turn on your ScanNCut, it will automatically find our,
Years.
granted, we're getting higher speed internet on Monday, so it will change. So when you come here next time, we will have to have you update it. But next, and then to register connection between Canvas Workspace account and the machine in order to send cutting data with the Canvas worksite, you have to they're telling you need to get registered. For more details, refer to the wireless network setup guide. So we will go through that with you the next time. So hit next. But this is, okay, so Canvas Workspace. To register your machine at Canvas Workspace, type the following number to register your input PIN. So that is your PIN for Canvas Workspace. So this just answered my question. Because you don't have the card, you still will be able to register because that is the PIN you're going to use to register, okay? So you may want to write it down in your book. However, we should be able to go back and get your PIN, okay? When we go to register it, should still give it to us, but let's just go ahead and,
PIN number is what?
why don't you not read it?
What?
Yeah, why don't you stop it for a second?
You want to hear it in the phone.
Hit the home button. Okay, hit home. Go back, hit the back button. Okay, now hit the home button. Hit the back button. Yeah, it's picky. Okay, now we're back to home. Okay, so now yours does not say update available yet, but we're gonna go back into tools and we want to page down to your Wi-Fi.
That's right.
Yep. And then page down so that you get to your version. Keep paging, keep paging, keep paging. There you are. You're going to hit the arrow right where it says the version because you're at 1.02. I'm at 1.41, which mine needs to be updated too. But go ahead and hit the arrow over. Now hit the Wi-Fi button. And now it says processing. It's updating your machine right now. Okay? So now we're going to pan on mine. So hit the latest version available of the server. Okay, you cannot operate the machine until it's complete. So you're going to hit update, but you're not going to, because it's going to update it to now version 1.52.
You should hit it.
Hit update. And now let it be, okay? And we're going to pan over on mine because I'm not going to update mine until after we're done. And then we can keep going at least. All right, so yours is going to be updated by the time you leave then today. So that's where you're going to go to update. Same thing with mine. If I wanted to update, I would hit the Wi-Fi button. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to do that. If you want to put it on a USB stick and do it, I don't know why you would, but you can. We're going to go out of that now, and I'm just going to have you guys watch me. If you want to stand up too and come over here, you can. It's up to you if that'll be better for you to see.
Can you see it better?
So, because we're going to take the next 15 minutes, and I'm just going to do a little bit of playing on here with the patterns, and that's it. And then next time, what we will do is we will go over more of this because we're going to be doing it with an actual design, okay, that we're going to applicate, get all the pieces ready to applicate. So, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to pick my pattern, okay? So, actually, first, let's go back. So, you'll see these little arrow buttons here. And these arrow buttons are going to have different features. So like if you're setting up the roller feeder, that's where you're going to hit that. The region emboss, you're going to set that up. Because those are extra pieces that you're going to need for doing, if you're going to use the roller. And then you have your patterns and your scans. Since we're not scanning anything, we'll be doing that next month. Because we'll be scanning stuff. We'll be playing with that. I just want to show you different patterns. So you have all these designs. The only difference between mine and yours is you will not have Disney on there, okay? I'm going to just hit that button. Now, you can get your own block. Like I was saying, let's say I want to make my own 5-inch square. I'm just going to up it to 5. Oops, I went too fast. Yeah, I go too fast. I want to make it 5 inches. 5 inch by 5 inch. And let's say I can figure out how many I want to make, but I'm not going to do that right there. I'm going to hit set first. Okay, so I have my square, and actually, get back. Okay, I can add, if I want to add another one, I can create a different pattern. If I don't want just a square, I want to do like a rectangle, I can do that. Let's say I just want that to be 3. I like whole numbers, of course. Okay, so 3, set. And now I have my triangle. If I want to add more, I can just hit add and it will go back, and I can add, I can retrieve to add it to. If I want to edit, that's where I'm going to go into edit. What I want to do is if I want to create more space between it, you'll see the red boxes by the rectangle and not by the square. I can actually just move it by selecting. If I wanted to move to this, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. If I was on the rectangle and I wanted to move it to this, I could just either tap it with my finger and the box will go around there. If I'm scanning something in and I get all these little dust flakes on them, and it will read those, and those little dust flakes come up, you take your little stylus and you try to get it, highlight it so that you can destroy it, delete it, and you can't get it. All you have to do is hit this arrow button and it will page over until you can get it. So let's say I have like 4 of those. I just keep hitting that until it gets to those, and then I can just delete them. So let's say I want to delete this. I can just hit the delete button and then it will go away. I can delete that and it will go away. So now I'm going to start off with nothing. So we're going to go into regular patterns. I'm going to pull up, my watch keeps listening to my conversation. I'm going to pull up this little flower here. Okay, you can pull up any flower, it doesn't really matter. And let's say I want to bring it to, let's just bring it to 4 inches. Okay, I'm going to hit tools. And I'm gonna, if I want inches still, I can go in there, or I can, if I want to change to the bigger mat, the 12 by 24, I can change the 12 by 24 mat. And now it will read that. So when I go hit OK, now I can hit OK. And at this point, then I can add. If I want to add more than one and I want to do maybe, let's do 8 of them. I can hit set. And now there's 8 of them on there, and you'll see the arrow down. There's more. There's because that's your 12 by 24. If I want to arrange them so I can get a little bit more in there, I might say, you know what, machine, do this. Maybe I can get another one in there if I'm getting them too close or they're not close enough because I want to get one more in there and I just can't. You can have the machine arrange it for you in 3 different ways. And if I say, you know what, I know I can get more in there, so I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to go to edit, and I can just page over to the next one, and then I can move it if I want, or I can use this arrow button and I can move it the way I want to move it. So if I want to move it way down, I can either grab it, move it, or I can take and move, if I need to just a little bit move it, I can. And you'll notice each square here, that's the squares that you have on your mat. So on your mat, you have these squares. You won't have it here because I have that pattern on here. But if I take this off, I have all these squares. That is 1 inch square. That reflects 1 inch square. So if I say, you know what, I want, let's say I have the 24 mat size, but I want to have it right here because I scan my fabric, and my fabric is scanning so that I have a piece right in here. I can say, oh, okay, I want to move it, but I want to make sure I don't have my box anywhere on the outer part of that because that's not where my fabric is. Or you can scan it in here and your fabric will show up instead of the mat. It'll show exactly where your fabric is laying on the mat, and then you can move your design wherever you want it. So like if you have a butterfly on your fabric, you can do that, and we will play with that more in the following months. So you can do a lot of that moving here. So we hit OK, say, okay, that's where I want to be. I'm still going to go to Object Edit. And let's say I decide, you know what, I want to make this one bigger than all the other ones. So I'm going to take and resize it. Because I want to make this one 8.5 inches height. So now I've made the 8.5 inches by almost 9 inches for that. I hit OK. Now look at all the different editing features you have here. We are going to go through that, not today. Okay, I just wanted to show you the moving feature and the resizing feature and the adding an extra one or two to start with. Because if we go through all of this today, you're not going to remember it when we're going to need this next week when we're doing the fabric, okay? Because we're going to go through all of this next week, and then we're going to actually use it when we're cutting out our fabric, okay? So when you come not next week, anytime I say next week, I mean next month. You know, my staff just have to know exactly what I'm meaning, not what I'm saying, because sometimes when I get tired, after I've been talking all day long, they have to know what I mean, not what I say, which is fun for them.
The next class.
It's a lot of fun. The next class, which is next month, anybody virtual will get it at the end of the month. They won't get it the third Saturday because we tape it on the third Saturday, and then we have to upload it. And right now, because we have high speed, but not mega high speed, it takes 3 days to upload. And then when we get it there, it takes them days to get it up there. So by us getting higher speed, we're hoping that will fix that glitch. We're gonna try that on Monday and see what happens. So next class, I need you to have a applique piece that you want to do. So I need it on a piece of paper. We're going to do the scanning. That's what we want to play with, the scanning. We will do SVG files and transferring files on a different day. We are going to do the scanning feature. So I need you to bring some applique that has it either drawn out or you draw it out and bring that here. So if you don't have an applique quilt that you're working on right now, that's fine. Bring something that maybe you would want to put on a towel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
so
we go.
bring something like that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do my project, which I'm making this. It's a sample for the shop. It's this little duck quilt, and I have to cut out all these ducks. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you what you're going to do the process. So you want to make sure you bring your pattern. Thank you. Your fabric. You want to have adhesive, and we're going to talk about different adhesives too, just to give you an idea of what's out there. So, and you should have your fabric prepped already. I already have the adhesive behind your fabric, ironed onto the back of your fabric. Make sure if you don't have a fabric mat, you get a fabric mat and bring it to class, and you have your scanning mat with you too. Okay? I think that's really all you'll need. If you come to the class and you need something else, we'll have it for you. But I think that's all you're going to need for your class virtually. If I forget and you need something else, you'll find out in the class and you can get it. And you can pause it and get it. But I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all you're going to need for doing that. And we're going to cut it out just so you get the idea. I want you to do a few of them and get the feel of it, because repetition is a good thing for this. That's what we're going to do for the next
So
class.
you want the applique picture, the fabric that already has the
The glue on,
it.
fusible on it. Yep.
Okay, and the scanning mat and the fabric sheet.
Right.
Okay, mat.
Yep. Fabric mat, scanning sheet. Yep. And the reason why it's a scanning sheet is nicer because it doesn't have the grid and it's clear. And usually you only put paper on it. If you do it on a mat that is a low-tech mat, or like for instance this fabric mat, because we're going to talk about what not to do on the fabric mats, because I can show you right here. This is what not to do. Okay, because I'll never get that off. The fabric mat is so sticky. We're going to remind you over and over again, do not put paper side down. So like the glue with the paper on the back, that's what I did. Or actually I put this on here because I was going to scan it. I thought, I can just peel it right up. Yeah, no, you can't. You always put fabric down on the fabric mat because it's really sticky. So it's not, if you put the glue side with the paper down, you'll never get it up. You'll never get it off the mat. It will stick there forever. You'll get the fabric off the mat. The glue will either stick with the fabric or it'll stick on the mat, one of them.
So make sure you take the paper off.
So, no, make sure the fabric side is
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, because even if you take the paper off and put the glue on there, the glue would adhere to this and your fabric will pull right off. So,
That's my problem.
yeah. So, and another thing is if we scan with even a low tack mat, you get all this debris that's still on here. That will read. It will read every single piece of that. So then you'll have to go through and delete all that stuff. And we're going to show you how to do that because you're still going to get some debris on your scanning mat. And I will show you how to delete all of that. And just a reminder, these classes are monthly and you do not have to attend all of them. If you purchase the ScanNCut from us, it is free. If you didn't, it's $5 or $10, one of them.
$5.
What?
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5, the Luminaire is 10. So, but if you purchase the machine from us, it's great because it's free. Even if you aren't going to do it, you still can have it, and you never know, down the road you might use it. So that's it for our class today. If you have questions, call the store. Don't hesitate. Get registered on Canvas. You have 2 months to get registered on Canvas. And the reason why I'm giving you 2 months is because we're really busy here at the store. And if you need my help, we might have to arrange a time for you to do that, maybe after
Did
hours.
you write down how to do that? Mm-hmm.
So.
I can't write. I go.
Yeah, I know. Today I can't write. My hands hurt. So, all right. So if you have any questions, like again, I said 734-8262, area code 920. Call the store. I'm usually here 7 days a week. Sometimes on Tuesdays I do run to the other stores. So, but they know how to find me. I can never hide. So, and if you have, I'm going to say it again, if you have any questions, call me. But I keep saying that. So, see you later.